every move, the last thing you want to do is have a blowout with your girlfriend in public. But that is exactly what happened between John and his girlfriend, Carolyn Bessette. As you're about to see, there was lots of shoving and shouting. What really happened that day?
In America, he's John F. Kennedy Jr., considered the most eligible bachelor on the planet. And the woman on his arm is his girlfriend, Carolyn Bessette. They may look happy here, but it wasn't too long ago the pair were at each other's throats in a very public way. But now, for the first time, a friend of Carolyn's is speaking exclusively to American Journal about what happened the day of the big fight.
I spoke to her a couple of times during the episode of the fight.
Bobby DiMarzo is a photographer who met Carolyn 8 years ago when she was an undergraduate at Boston University.
We became very good friends really instantly. She was just a great girl.
DiMarzo says he wasn't surprised when he saw Carolyn letting JFK Jr. have it during their caught-on-tape fight.
She'll do what she wants to do, and whether you like it or not, she's going to get it done.
The explosive lover spat reportedly started after the 28-year-old beauty accused her boyfriend of flirting with another woman at a party. The disagreement turns physical as John appears to rip a ring off her hand here. Supposedly, it was their engagement ring. As John walks off, leaving a shocked Carolyn standing there, she runs up from behind and tackles him, grabbing his neck as he fends her off. Suddenly, they were in each other's faces, screaming at the top of their lungs, and Carolyn didn't hesitate to shove and push him when he tried to walk away.
She stands up for what she wants, and she's not afraid to say no.
Then the pair sit on a park bench while Carolyn continues to scream. She gets up to leave, but then sits again in stony silence, neither of them saying a word. After a while, Carolyn wipes tears away from her eyes. And as they leave the park, John walks a few feet behind her, his head hung low. The couple almost make it back to the apartment they share in Lower Manhattan when the fighting erupts again. John slumps to the sidewalk and buries his head in his arms. He seems to be crying. He looks dejected, defeated. Then Carolyn starts pacing. She extends her hand. You can see John dropping something into her hand. It is believed to be the engagement ring he tore from her finger earlier in the fight. Suddenly, Carolyn grabs for the dog's leash from her boyfriend's hands. He angrily yanks it back. The photographer who took these pictures says she heard JFK Jr. yelling, "You've got my ring. You're not getting my dog, too." And Carolyn reportedly screamed back, "It's our dog." She is finally seen leading the dog away. The couple console each other, but it's short-lived. Carolyn reads him the riot act once again.
She does what she wants, and she's not going to back down.
JFK Jr. finally gets up and reluctantly follows Carolyn. The bickering continues, and then Carolyn bums a cigarette from a total stranger standing on the street. The couple, seemingly exhausted from fighting, finally make up. They embrace on the street, hug, and whisper into each other's ears. Carolyn seems to be sobbing once again. Young Kennedy and Carolyn start walking, but this time arm in arm, obviously reconciled from their all-out quarrel. The lover spat made headlines around the world, but Carolyn downplayed the incident to her friend DiMarzo when she spoke with him that week.
Next day, everything was fine.
And when JFK Jr. went on the Howard Stern show, he told the shock jock the fight wasn't a big deal.
There was like some silly argument.
Really?
But we've been going out for a long time. We've
So you're in
been
love?
friends for years. Yeah.
You are in love?
And now the couple seems to be happier than ever. Just last week, she and JFK Jr. returned from a working vacation in Europe. The 35-year-old Kennedy went there to promote his political magazine, George, where he is editor-in-chief. It also gave him an excuse to avoid the extraordinary attention the sale of his mother's estate was causing. Carolyn Bessette was with Kennedy the entire time, traveling with him to Milan, at his side in Geneva, at an exclusive party thrown by Cartier, the jeweler. And this past Saturday, Carolyn was in Washington, D.C. with John, who attended the gala 25th anniversary of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. The next morning, the pair were spotted enjoying each other's company while jogging. One reason Carolyn is able to travel these days is that she recently quit her job as a public relations executive at Calvin Klein. So it seems JFK Jr. and Carolyn have put their public fight behind them. And according to DiMarzo, the duo could be heading down the aisle.
As far as marriage goes, I think they'll probably wind up together. They seem like they're really happy from what she said to me. And who knows? She could be our first lady.